Topic 13. Executive Presence. Executive presence is the combination of confidence, credibility, communication, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and professional behavior that enables leaders to inspire trust, influence stakeholders, and lead organizations effectively. While technical expertise and financial knowledge are essential for senior executives, leadership effectiveness increasingly depends on how leaders communicate, make decisions, manage relationships, and project confidence under pressure. For modern chief financial officers, CFOs, executive presence has become a defining leadership competency because finance leaders now serve as strategic advisors to CEOs, boards of directors, investors, regulators, employees, and global business partners. Strong executive presence enhances leadership influence, organizational credibility, and long-term enterprise value creation. Leading executive CFO programs emphasize that the role of the CFO has evolved significantly from financial stewardship to enterprise leadership. Today's CFO participates in corporate strategy, digital transformation, capital allocation, mergers and acquisitions, sustainability initiatives, and stakeholder engagement. Success in these responsibilities requires more than analytical capability. It requires the ability to communicate vision, influence strategic decisions, build trust across stakeholder groups, and represent the organization with confidence and integrity. Executive presence begins with credibility and competence. Leaders gain influence when stakeholders perceive them as knowledgeable, trustworthy, and capable of making sound judgments under uncertainty. For CFOs, credibility is established through technical expertise in finance and strategy, consistent ethical behavior, sound governance practices, objective decision-making, and the ability to provide balanced advice during complex business situations. Credibility develops over time through reliability, preparation, transparency, and accountability. A second dimension of executive presence is effective communication. Senior leaders must communicate complex financial and strategic issues clearly and persuasively to diverse audiences including boards, investors, executive committees, employees, regulators, and business partners. Executive communication requires concise messaging, logical structure, active listening, storytelling with data, and the ability to simplify complexity without losing strategic meaning. CFOs who communicate with clarity and confidence strengthen organizational alignment and improve strategic decision-making. Executive presence also requires strategic thinking and business perspective. Rather than focusing narrowly on accounting or financial reporting, executive finance leaders connect financial performance with market dynamics, customer behavior, technological innovation, competitive positioning, and long-term corporate strategy. Their ability to see the broader business landscape allows them to contribute meaningfully to executive discussions and influence enterprise-wide decisions. Strategic perspective distinguishes finance leaders who report history from those who help shape the future. Emotional intelligence is another essential component of executive presence. Senior leaders operate in environments characterized by uncertainty, organizational change, stakeholder pressure, and conflicting priorities. The ability to manage emotions, demonstrate empathy, remain composed under stress, and respond thoughtfully to challenging situations strengthens leadership effectiveness and organizational trust. CFOs frequently navigate difficult conversations involving restructuring, investment decisions, budget reductions, mergers, or crisis management, making emotional intelligence a critical executive capability. Confidence without arrogance is a hallmark of executive presence. Effective leaders project calm authority while remaining open to alternative perspectives and constructive challenge. They express opinions supported by evidence, acknowledge uncertainty when appropriate, and demonstrate humility by listening actively and encouraging diverse viewpoints. This balanced leadership style strengthens collaboration while reinforcing professional credibility across the organization. Executive presence is particularly important during organizational transformation and crisis leadership. Digital transformation, economic uncertainty, cybersecurity threats, geopolitical disruption, acquisitions, or regulatory changes require executives who can provide stability and direction under pressure. CFOs with strong executive presence communicate transparently, reassure stakeholders through objective analysis, maintain strategic focus, and guide organizations through uncertainty while preserving confidence in leadership and governance. Board and investor engagement further highlight the importance of executive presence. CFOs regularly present financial results, strategic initiatives, enterprise risks, and capital allocation decisions to boards of directors and institutional investors. These interactions require executive confidence, strategic insight, analytical rigor, and the ability to answer challenging questions with clarity and composure. Effective executive presence strengthens board confidence, investor trust, and organizational reputation within capital markets. Digital transformation has expanded executive visibility through virtual meetings, global leadership teams, social media, integrated reporting, and real-time communication platforms. Executive presence now extends beyond physical interactions to include digital communication effectiveness, virtual presentation skills, executive storytelling, and online stakeholder engagement. Finance leaders must communicate consistently across multiple channels while maintaining professionalism, transparency, and strategic focus.
Executive presence also supports strategic business partnering and cross-functional collaboration. Finance leaders increasingly work alongside operations, technology, marketing, human resources, and strategy teams to evaluate investments, improve performance, and drive organizational transformation. Executive presence enables CFOs to influence decisions through persuasion rather than authority, fostering trust-based collaboration across organizational boundaries while strengthening enterprise-wide decision-making. Developing executive presence requires continuous learning and self-awareness. Leadership coaching, executive communication training, public speaking, board experience, mentoring, international exposure, emotional intelligence development, and reflective practice all contribute to stronger executive influence. Organizations increasingly invest in executive development because leadership presence significantly affects organizational culture, stakeholder relationships, and strategic execution. The Global Competency Framework identifies leadership, communication, influence, strategic thinking, business partnering, governance, stakeholder management, and ethical integrity as essential competencies for executive finance professionals. At senior leadership levels, CFOs are expected to influence enterprise strategy, communicate with executive confidence, build trusted stakeholder relationships, and demonstrate executive presence that supports sustainable value creation and organizational leadership. In today's highly dynamic and globally connected business environment, executive presence has become a strategic leadership capability that complements technical expertise and financial knowledge. Organizations whose CFOs demonstrate confidence, credibility, emotional intelligence, strategic perspective, and influential communication are better positioned to strengthen governance, inspire stakeholder trust, lead transformational change, and create sustainable long-term enterprise value through effective executive influence and strategic partnership.